Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest is the author of a cookbook specializing in gluten-free, dairy-free, and paleo recipes for people. But in the back is a chapter just for pets. Here to share a healthy dog food recipe, we welcome back the author of Wandering Palate, Erica Schlick. Good to have you back again.
Thank you for having me.
I love this whole idea. I've been considering doing that for my dogs, but thought, what is it that they would like? But you have some ideas for us that are healthy and that they'll eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in my own health journey, I discovered that food is medicine, discovered a lot of my food allergies and what foods worked with my body and didn't. And during my own health journey, my dog Falcor started having a lot of allergies as well. So we took the time to really test out the different foods and see what worked for him. So today we're going to be making one of his favorite recipes, which is Falcor's beef with broccoli.
All right, let's take a look at your two dogs and tell me who we've got here. And Alex is, we have pictures. I guess we're taking a look at pictures.
So this is Pixel. She's our girl. And then we've got them here. This is Falcor and Pixel. They're a little camera shy today, but you know, they'll get the hang of it.
Yeah. So the goal here is at the end is that we'll be feeding them.
That's right. They're going to do the ultimate taste test to tell us if they like it or not.
Love it. Love it. All right, tell me what you use when you put together this dog
food. So I try to keep it pretty simple. So I like to cook things with bone broth because it's got a lot of nutrients. It can be really nourishing.
Okay.
And so we've got some bone broth simmering here. And
can you buy that just like you buy chicken broth? And
you can. There's a couple manufacturers that make it specifically for dogs. You can make your own in an Instapot, which is very simple.
Yeah.
Or there's actually human bone broth, but you just want to make sure there's no garlic and onion in it, as that can be toxic for dogs.
No garlic or onions. Okay, gotcha.
So we've got some broccoli. If you want to give me a hand chopping the rest of the broccoli, that would be great. And then I'm going to get our beef simmering. So I always like to use grass-fed beef, just because it has more nutrients, it's more nutritious.
How often are you cooking up these meals for your dogs?
We cook a lot for them. They're very spoiled.
So I guess that means every day.
Sometimes they get a fancy meal like this. Sometimes we just get some ground turkey or ground meat and cook that up for them. Okay. When we travel, sometimes they get some kibble. They've been on a little bit of a hunger protest on this trip because they're just getting kibble and they do not like it at all.
Oh, I bet. Well, because you spoil them.
I know, they are spoiled.
So do you ever do like you do it on Sunday, like a big batch to last the whole week?
Usually if we do some ground beef, we cook it and it'll last maybe 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
We're actually very spoiled back home because we actually have a person locally that makes dog food as well. So we get that to supplement their diet as well. So
you can do this and add it to your regular dog food.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense too.
So we'll go ahead and add the rest of this broccoli in here. And we're just going to get that simmering. And so usually for the broccoli, it'll cook in about 3 to 4 minutes.
Sure.
And then we've got our beef too. And you could cook this all in one pan. I like to keep it kind of separate just because, you know, sometimes it cooks at different speeds.
Oh, sure, because the vegetables are going to cook a lot faster, right?
And the bonus with this is I actually have a human beef with broccoli recipe in my cookbook as well, and you can basically cook the two of them at the same time. Human one obviously has a little bit more seasoning and spices, but you know, you can get a big batch of the meat, a big batch of the broccoli, and the whole family can eat healthy.
Have you found any foods that the dogs don't like?
Falcor is kind of picky sometimes. He's very food driven.
Right.
He does great.
Aren't we all food
driven?
Right. Okay.
He eats mostly everything. There's maybe some things that he doesn't like. He doesn't like blueberries for some reason.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And he actually likes sweet potatoes, but he's actually very allergic to them. So that's been a hard one to keep from him.
How did you know that?
He would get these hot spots on his skin. These hot spots that would be red. He'd lose patches of fur.
Right.
And we were finally able to isolate the different foods that had sweet potatoes and figure out that that's what it was.
But your other dog liked sweet potatoes and works just fine.
She loves sweet potatoes. So sometimes they get different meals. So we're just going to let this cook here. And we've got the broccoli simmering as well.
And I do notice that you have some sweet potatoes here. Do you want me to cut those up or not?
We'll save those for later.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I don't know if they're ready to taste test.
What is in just a little bit? So what are some keys when it comes to making dog food for you?
So definitely you want to use very clean ingredients. There's been a lot of talk about grain-free food being bad for dogs. And I want to touch on that a little bit. It's not necessarily the lack of grains that is bad for dogs. It's that a lot of these food manufacturers are filling them with legumes like peas and chickpeas and different fillers, and that's causing the dogs to not absorb taurine, which is causing heart issues for them. So really, if you're going to take out grains, you want to replace it with healthy proteins and make sure that they're getting a well-balanced diet. And there's actually a lot of veterinarians or dog nutritionists out there as well that can really work with your dog to figure out what's an optimal food for them, especially if they're having different health issues as well.
I would think that we would want less grains because it's less filler, and less filler means less waste.
Absolutely, and it can cause a lot of digestive issues, a lot of sensitivities, a lot of corn and wheat that's in these foods. Can cause a lot of allergies for dogs as well.
Okay, I wanted to show that you have the You have the meat and broccoli option that we just talked here,
do.
the beef and broccoli, and then you also have the beef and the sweet potatoes and regular potatoes as well,
that's
right?
right. That's Pixel's favorite dish. So that's actually bison and sweet potatoes.
Okay.
So that's Pixel's meal. She really, really likes sweet potatoes.
And I see you have carrots. You like to put carrots in there?
These are all foods that are healthy for dogs. So there's certain
someone is demanding food, right? You know, let's do it. Since they're demanding, let's give them some food.
They're a little hangry.
Yeah.
They haven't had breakfast yet.
Yeah.
All right. So, can I get you guys to sit? Can I get a paw?
Oh, look at that! Way to go!
Here you go, babies.
Oh, and they know which one is theirs too, right?
So I think they like it.
How can you test to make sure, you know, like you found out about the sweet potato reaction for one dog? How do you test to find that out before you go through the whole process?
You really have to do a elimination diet and test out the ingredients. So we noticed that when he would eat things that had sweet potatoes, his skin would flare, and we'd take it out for a couple of weeks, and then we would do a test and just test it with the sweet potatoes, and if he had the same reaction, we knew he was sensitive to it. So it's a lot of trial and error, a lot of testing things.
Right.
But you eventually can start to see a pattern with the foods. So.
Your dogs must like tell their friends, we have the best mom and dad
they
in the world.
won the puppy lottery for sure.
Oh my God,
They're
that's
spoiled.
awesome. Now you have an event that's coming up, right? So tell me about that.
So tonight you can come down and you can meet us, the whole family. We're going to be doing a book signing at Schilling Cider in Southeast Portland. I have some swag bags that are going to be filled with a signed copy of Wandering Palate, the canvas tote, and tons of paleo and gluten-free goodies that are going to be in there.
Yeah.
So you can pre-buy a VIP ticket to guarantee that you get your book, or you can just come down, and if you're not in town and you can't make it, you can always get my book on my website or on Amazon as well.
Fantastic. Great job. Thank you so much. Again, the book is called The Wandering Palate.